Every Saturday morning, Maya would stand at her kitchen window, a cup of tea growing cold in her hands, just staring at the garden behind her house. What had once been this neat, beautiful patch of green was now just a tangled mess of weeds, dry, cracked soil, and plants that had long been forgotten. Looking at it filled her with this quiet, heavy guilt. She always told herself, "I'll fix it one day," but that one day never seemed to arrive. And you know, her life felt a lot like that garden, a mountain of unanswered emails. Plans she'd started with so much excitement, but were now just half finished. Dreams she used to cherish, now gathering dust in the corner of her mind. Whenever she tried to think about it all at once, the weight of it all just became unbearable. So, what did she do? Nothing. It was easier to just do nothing at all. Then, one morning, after another restless night filled with tossing and turning, Maya did something different. She stepped outside. She didn't bring any gloves or tools or even a plan. She just walked right into the middle of that chaos and stood there. And for the first time in a long time, she just breathed deeply. In that moment, a thought came to her. The garden didn't need saving today. It didn't need a grand overhaul. It just needed a little bit of attention. So she knelt down right there on the hard ground and pulled a single weed from the soil. Just one. Then she pulled another. She cleared a tiny circle, no bigger than a dinner plate, and then she stopped. The rest of the garden was still wild, completely unchanged. And at first, that small effort felt completely pointless. A little voice in her head whispered, "What difference does this even make?" It felt like trying to bail out the ocean with a teaspoon. But then, she remembered a quiet teaching she once heard. Do not try to empty the ocean, sip it. So the next day, she returned. She didn't set a huge goal. She just decided to tend another small patch. 10 minutes. That's it. No more. Some days, she'd just water a small section. Other days, she wouldn't even do any work. She would simply stand there and observe. She stopped measuring her progress and started noticing her presence. The sound of the birds in the trees, the earthy smell of the soil after a light rain, the steady, calming rhythm of her own breath. Slowly, as weeks turned into a month, something began to change. Tiny green shoots started to appear in the patches she had cleared. The garden didn't transform overnight into a botanical masterpiece. But then again, neither did Maya's life, and for the first time, she realized that was okay. She started to apply that same gentle, patient approach to other parts of her life, answering just one email, completing just one small task on her to-do list, allowing herself one honest moment of rest without feeling that familiar sting of guilt. And little by little, the overwhelm began to loosen its grip. It was like a tightly coiled spring slowly unraveling. One afternoon, as the golden sunlight spilled across the yard, Maya sat on her back steps and just smiled. The garden was still imperfect. There were still weeds, still patches of dry earth. And so was she. She was still imperfect. Yet, both of them were growing, not through force, not through some heroic, all-or-nothing effort, but through steady, gentle care. She finally understood what the garden had been trying to teach her all along. You don't change your life by trying to fix everything at once. That's a recipe for burnout and disappointment. You change it by showing up consistently, one small, manageable act at a time. One weed pulled, one email sent, one deep breath taken. And that, she realized, was more than enough. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd subscribe for more.